Let me be straight with you from the jump. Nobody hands you $1 billion business. You build it, you earn it, and there are moments along the way where you're not sure if you made the right call. Moments where everything you worked for is on the line. I've had those moments, and I want to tell you how I got through them because I think the lessons apply to anyone who's serious about building something that lasts. In 2012, I walked away from one of the most prestigious names in finance. I'd been senior VP and senior portfolio director at Morgan Stanley, and before that, senior vice president at UBS. By any outside measure, I had it made. Great title, great income, great resources. But here's the thing, I wasn't working for my clients, I was working for the institution, and that distinction kept me up at night. So I started Steel Peak Wealth. No big safety net, no guarantee of a single client following me out the door. Just a clear vision, a fiduciary commitment, and a willingness to bet on myself. Here's what I learned along the way, and I'm going to share it with you because this isn't just a story about finance. It's a story about what it actually takes to build something real. The first thing I'll tell you is that purpose is the foundation. Before I did anything, before I wrote a single business plan or made a single call, I got clear on the why. Why was I leaving? What was I building toward? The answer was simple and non-negotiable. I wanted to work as a true fiduciary, meaning every decision I make for a client is made in their best interest, full stop. Not a sales target, not a proprietary product quota. The client's interest, period. That clarity became my North Star. In every market cycle, every staffing decision, every client conversation, I came back to that core principle. When you have a clear purpose, you make better decisions because you have a framework to run every choice through. This isn't philosophical, it's practical. Purpose-driven businesses attract purpose-aligned people, and purpose-aligned people build something worth building. The second lesson, culture eats strategy for breakfast, and I learned this the hard way. In my early years as an entrepreneur, I thought I could hire talented people and give them smart strategy, and everything would work. I was wrong. What actually drives performance is culture, the shared beliefs and behaviors of a team when no one's watching. At Steel Peak, our culture is built around three things: integrity, excellence, and genuine client care. Not as platitudes on a wall, but as daily operational standards. I played NCAA Division I soccer at UC Santa Barbara, and one thing you learn in competitive team sports is that talent alone doesn't win championships. The team that wins consistently is the team that has internalized a culture of trust, accountability, and shared mission. My son plays Division I college football now, and I watch him learn those same lessons. The best teams aren't just talented, they're unified. That's what we built at Steel Peak. Third, you cannot fake your way through ultra-high net worth relationships. I'm talking about clients who have the resources to hire anyone on the planet to manage their wealth. They can have Goldman Sachs, JP Morgan, anyone. When they choose Steel Peak, it's because they trust us. And that trust is built through demonstrated competence, radical transparency, and the willingness to tell a client something they don't want to hear. Early in my independent years, I had a prospect, significant wealth, interesting situation, and after going through their portfolio and their goals, I told them something that cost me the business in the short term. I told them they were taking on too much risk in a specific concentrated position, and I wasn't willing to manage around it if they weren't willing to address it. They walked. 6 months later, that position blew up. They came back. That relationship became one of the most meaningful partnerships in our firm's history. You build trust by being honest, not by being agreeable. The fourth lesson took me years to fully internalize. Growth follows service, not the other way around. I see so many people in this industry chasing AUM, chasing the next big client, chasing the growth story. That's the wrong sequence. When you obsessively serve the clients you have, when you go above and beyond in every interaction, growth becomes a natural byproduct. Our best new clients have almost always come from referrals from existing clients who felt genuinely cared for. If I had to distill this entire journey into a single sentence, it would be this: build with integrity, and the right clients will find you. Here's what I want you to take away from this. Whether you're building a wealth management firm, a tech startup, or any other kind of enterprise, the fundamentals are the same. Get clear on your purpose. Build a culture you're proud of. Earn trust through honesty, not salesmanship. And serve the people in front of you so well that growth becomes inevitable. The billion-dollar number didn't happen because I chased $1 billion. It happened because I focused on doing right by every single client, every single day, for over a decade. That's the formula. It's not glamorous. It doesn't go viral, but it works. I want to be honest about something else too, the role that failure played in this story, because it wasn't all upward trajectory. There were client relationships that didn't work out. There were hiring decisions I got wrong. There were market environments that tested our thesis and tested our resolve. In 2022, when both equities and fixed income fell sharply in the same year, one of the worst environments for diversified portfolios in decades, we had difficult conversations with clients who were frustrated and scared. Those conversations required honesty, empathy, and the confidence that comes from having a genuinely sound long-term process. They required being willing to say, this is harder than we expected this year, and here's why we still believe in the plan. That's what fiduciary relationships look like under pressure, not false reassurance, honest engagement. The firms that didn't survive those periods were often the ones that oversold performance and undersold process. We built Steel Peak on the opposite foundation. Be honest about what we can and can't control, be rigorous about the process, and trust that process over time. That combination of humility and conviction is harder to maintain than it sounds, but it's what earns genuine trust. There's another dimension to this that I don't talk about enough, and it's the community component. Steel Peak isn't just a business I run, it's something I've built as a member of this community. I've served on the board of Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, I'm active with the Boys and Girls Club of Malibu, and I believe deeply that building a successful business comes with an obligation to give back. Not as a PR strategy, as a genuine conviction that the privileges we've earned through our work come with responsibility. That's shaped how I think about everything from our hiring practices to how we structure charitable giving for clients. And I'll be honest, the community work feeds back into the business in ways I didn't fully anticipate when I started. The clarity of purpose, the perspective, the relationships, they make me a better advisor and a better leader. If you're building a business and you're not yet finding ways to plug into your community, I'd encourage you to think about it. Not because it's good for business, though it often is, but because it's the right way to live. When I reflect on everything it took to get from a conversation in 2012 to where Steel Peak is today, I keep coming back to the same conclusion. The business grew because we stayed relentlessly focused on doing right by people. Every client, every team member, every decision. The multi-billion AUM number is a scoreboard, but the score doesn't tell you why we won. The why is everything I've shared with you today. If you found this valuable, subscribe, share it with someone who's building something meaningful, and let's keep the conversation going. There's a lot more where this came from.